say this to you, Dana. You're talking to the wrong people. How about you take your little skinny ass down to the local VA and talk to the World War II and Korean War veterans and ask them what they think of someone lying about their military service.
When he left the National Guard, he filed his election paperwork February 10th, 2005. That was a month before the National Guard even announced that it was possible that they would deploy to Iraq, and it ended up being 2 months. He retired 2 months before they actually got the paperwork.
But on CNN last night, Dana, one of the people who was actually in charge of him said they knew they were going to deploy to Iraq in February of 2004, fall of 2004. So he knew he was going to Iraq. He decided to quit, to retire, whatever word you want to use.
Retire.
Because
retire. So she's correcting him.
Right.
This is ridiculous. I'm going to go on.
Wanted to run for Congress. He lied about that. He said that when he decided to retire, he did not know that he was going to Iraq. That is another untruth, as even his senior military officer said. So again, I'm not criticizing the service. I'm criticizing the dishonesty. Dishonesty spoken in favor and for the purpose of political benefit. And I think that the most important thing here, Dana, is it goes to Kamala Harris's judgment. Tim Walz is ultimately going to be the vice president. Kamala Harris is in great health. I'm sure she's going to be president if she wins for 4 or maybe even 8 years. Why did Kamala Harris choose a person who has lied about their military service? I think that is a serious lapse in judgment. And I don't want to hear from a campaign spokesperson of Kamala Harris. I want to hear Kamala Harris herself address what I just said.
You know, I've seen a lot of statements from veterans, including those you served with, saying it's just untoward to be criticizing somebody who served for 24 years.
So he literally just said he was not criticizing his service. He was criticizing the fact
in front of one audience. She pretends to be something.
He lied about his actual service, and she responds with that.
I didn't really know how I felt about J.D. Vance until that very moment. That actually made me say, all right, now I see why Trump picked him.
I haven't watched local network or cable news in, it's almost 14 years now. This is nothing more than Orwell's Ministry of Truth, okay? It's a gigantic propaganda machine. And look, some people might like this, but Fox News Nation controlled opposition to make people believe they have the illusion of choice, okay? I would encourage people, listen, I do a YouTube channel, I do a local politics television show, do programs like this. I've written for USA Today magazine, and I don't watch the news. And I would dare say I'm probably more informed than the average American. So you can get what you need. First of all, you are only interested in a narrow suite of subjects, not everything they bring on the news. Local news is who got shot, all right, political corruption, sports, weather, we'll do it again at 11, all right? So you don't need this type of propaganda in your life. Take away their power, take away Dana Bash's power by not paying any attention to her or her ilk.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Dana, I'm not interested in the ad hominem. I've heard from a lot of veterans groups who criticize Tim Walz. The question is, he said he served in war and he didn't. That is a dishonesty. I couldn't care less what one or the other person says about it. I care about what the truth is. The truth is that Tim Walz didn't tell the truth.
Absolutely.
And importantly, Dana, this is about Kamala Harris's judgment. And I think that when you ask, why has Kamala Harris allowed the border to be wide open? Why has Kamala Harris supported policies that have promoted the increase in inflation? I think it goes to the heart of her judgment, and I think that that's what we should be talking about.
One last question. Donald Trump didn't serve in the military. He received a medical draft deferment to avoid serving in the Vietnam War, reportedly as a favor to his father. Do you find that shameful too?
I think that Donald Trump didn't serve in the military, but he didn't lie about it, Dana. I've known Donald Trump for a long time. He really honors our veterans. He honors me for my service.
This, Madeline, first of all, this has been discussed time and time again. Before Donald Trump became president, this has been discussed. This is just bad journalism. It is very bad.
I've been on many news programs. You know, it's all about sensation. It's all about ratings. It's all about, you know, doing the most sensational story. All right. The reason why she heard what JD Vance said. She heard what he said. But she, like every other thing, it's all scripted. They have this stuff written down in front of them. All right. Her objective is to get there and to try to flip the fact that Walz lied. All right. And JD Vance was calling it out. Her objective was to flip it and take the focus off of Walz and put it on Trump.
Right.
Right. And I like what JD Vance said. He said, but Trump didn't lie about it. Mm-hmm. Right? And that's the point right there. And that speaks to the whole heart of the whole entire, you know, ball of wax here. People are being disingenuous, all right, and hypocritical. And it makes you question their character and their integrity. Why would we want someone running our country who they're from right out the gate, all right? Their character and their integrity is in question. People may not like Trump, right, because of the way he talks. However, all right, he's going to tell you the cold, hard, ugly truth. Amen. And that's going to hurt your feelings. And that's what people don't like about him. However, at least you can trust him to tell you the damn truth.
Right. Absolutely.
See, I'm like Tyrone. I don't even own a TV. I won't watch it because I think it rots your brain. I'd rather read or listen to a podcast or something like that. You have to realize that the big cable networks are owned by Vanguard and BlackRock, which are social engineers.
Yeah.
You know, they create a narrative and they implement it into the society based on how they want things to move. Study psychology, study social psychology. You will see it everywhere. Yeah. And, you know, I know some people, you know, criticize me for mentioning occult and witchcraft, but that's what they all are. Start looking into it. You know, witchcraft is power, domination, and control. Because remember, the Lord gives us free will, right? So who are you to take somebody's free will from them? Well, ask these big corporations and these players that you can't even see. You can't even see these people. You don't even know who they are.
Yeah.
That's who's controlling the news stations. That's why they're all on code. There's a reason for that. And that's why when you look at Rumble, which is an independent platform that YouTube is a rival with, they're constantly trying to get rid of that platform because there's rules and regulations they don't have to abide by, so they can say certain things. They're always in trouble. That's why Russell Brand had to move over there. You know, so we are being played and punked out is what it really is.
This idea of Marxism, this idea that the Democrats are pushing is demonic. And one of the 45 goals of the Communist Party was to infiltrate the press, get control of book reviews, assignments, editorial writing, policy making positions, the press, and also one or both parties, and infiltrate them. And this is exactly what we're seeing now. And you brought up a very good point that we've actually haven't made here before. The idea of control. As we know, God gives us free will, but the enemy wants control. He comes to rob, steal, lie. And so that's all about control. That's all about taking over our free will. And that is demonic.
We're in spiritual warfare. Make no mistake. You know, I mean, even if we get blessed enough where, you know, God does use Trump to help our nation, our work is not over yet. We still got souls to bring to the kingdom. We still have healing to do with each other and the Black community, with white people. You know, that's why I refuse to play into this thing that the Democrats, you know, they talk about the greatest threat to America is white supremacy. How and where? That's my question.
Yeah. First, I'm going to say I follow my brother's footsteps here. I don't have cable TV, haven't had it for almost 20 years, right? I have one TV in my house, and it's in the basement, right? But so like you, Tyrone, I follow my brother's footsteps there. But one of the things that dawned on me, again, when she was talking to JD Vance, she's basically saying how dishonorable it is to criticize a veteran. But let me say this to you, Dana. you're talking to the wrong people. How about you take your little skinny ass down to the local VA and talk to the World War II and Korean War veterans and ask them what they think of someone lying about their military service. Ask those veterans who have PTSD and who can't sleep at night because they have so many horrors running through their mind. Ask the veterans who have limbs that are missing, left over on battlefields over in Korea and Vietnam and any other place. And why don't you ask these people if it's honorable or dishonorable for someone to placate or lie about their military service and whatever rank they had? Ask these people and see what they'll say.
I'll go you one better. Come to New York, all right, and ask the veterans that are laying in the street. The homeless veterans, they put the illegals in 5-star hotels, all right? And they left our veterans out in the street on the sidewalk in the middle of winter, all right? And for year after year after year, right? So, that's real good, what you just said. If we really want to find out what the veterans really feel, let's ask the real veterans, all right? The real veterans.